Hello everyone, today I'm gonna do another editing tutorial of my recent shoot with Ava yesterday, and I'm gonna do a couple more edits on this shoot and then I will go into the 23rd critique video. So let's get started. I previously have imported the original picture from the Fujifilm X-T2. So these are the original pictures I imported from the Fujifilm X-T2 JPEG. I shoot JPEG only, so many of you have asked me the questions because I want the fast workflow and faster to edit. So on average my edit is like 2 minutes per edit. So this one I would use the E5 again, and many of you have asked me questions of the purchase of the E5. Some of you say in the Android it's pulled out of the store, Play Store. So I downloaded from the iOS. So if it's pulled out, it might be because of they temporarily pull it out, and just to contact the support to see if it's still there, like if it's available. So because I'm not sure how it goes with the Android devices, since I have the iPhone 7 Plus. And all my videos I recorded in the behind the scene video, they are used with the iPhone 7 Plus. So this one I just added and then cropped it, make sure that the head part is on the top third area. So because the other portrait so let me save it. Because the other one they are very close to each other with the same environments, I'm going to edit and then paste it to see if it's good. So I can see still a little bit of brown tone. I can try HB2, but it's too harsh in this one. So I just go back to the E5, put it back to the 75%, and then rotate a little bit. Just make sure that the reason why I rotate is to make sure that the benchmark of the caps behind is perpendicular, is parallel to the ground. So make sure that it's very well aligned, because slightly tilted, it kind of created uneven space in the back, kind of distracted my eyes. So that's my principle of the rotation. So I will, because I purposefully asked Eva to stand behind the cap just to get some yellow background, so just to give a sense of the yellow background, and then I use the 51.2 to blur out everything, just to keep a little bit of the mood in the back. So I will just reduce slightly a little bit of the exposure, and let me save it and then see how it looks in the square format. In the square format, it seems too tight on the top, so I'm gonna crop it higher. So that's how I adjust to look how it looks in the Instagram. So I'm just gonna crop a little bit higher and then save it to see how it looks in the square format. Yeah, now it has some headroom left even in the square format. So this is the one that I like it, and then I save it, save actual size. So the full size in here. So today I'm just gonna edit couple more and then go into it, since last time I used a lot of time in here. So I'm just gonna paste the previous edit here. Might be too dark for this one because different location, there's some slightly lighting difference in here. So I might just do it. If you don't want to crop it 4:5 because you want to do the Instagram story, you can do it like that. Just save the full size so that you can post on the Instagram story with more context behind. So I like this one because I like the bokeh in the back. As many of you have known that I really like the bokeh. So you can use the E5. Almost everything I use the E5 right now in my feed, and mostly E5, sometimes HB2 depending on the location. So I just do another adjustment on the highlight save, and then make sure that a lot of headroom on top, and just slightly with the headroom right there, and then I can see that it's tilted to the left, so I tilt it back to the right. Make sure that the body is perpendicular, and the top I can see is too narrow on the top, so I'm gonna just do it like that and then save it. Double check to see how it looks in the square format. It looks good, and then I save it actual size of it. So I'm gonna skip this one and then do this one. This is in different environment. I really like the wind. Sometimes the wind is a good help when it's like have created a moody feel in it. So this one I will use HB2, just give you a different sense of the tone. So this is the original classic chrome, and then I added HB2. It added a little bit more of the dark tone in it, and I can still see the background is too bright. I'm gonna adjust the sharpness a little bit, and then the highlight safe. If it's too saturated, you can just -5 or minus, because too saturated become black and white, right? So probably -8 for me, this one. And make sure that the orientation is good. So the benchmark I'm looking at is that this line right there, just make sure that it's perpendicular to the ground. And after that, I'm gonna do a 4x5 crop for Instagram. So make sure a lot of headroom left just for the movement of the hair. It creates a nice sense of space and movement right there. I can still see a little bit, so adjust it and then save it. Boom, that's it. It's like 1 minute. I'm gonna save it actual size. And then because the next one is kind of similar, I'm gonna do a copy and then edit and then paste. So if it's too dark, as you might have seen, I might just try the E5. E5 will brighten up a little bit. So E5, it has a different mood in it. But I really like this picture, so I'm gonna crop out all the unnecessary background, because these lines right now, the orange lines, kind of like distracted my eyes a little bit. I have a second thought on that, so I might just crop that line completely out, and then make sure that it's very focused on the head part, because it's I want the audience, when you first look at the picture, I want the audience to look at the head and then the eye contact with the model. So make sure that it's very concentrated in the center, and then like that. Okay, and then save it. Save as. Okay, so that's it. So that's it for my editing. Next, I'm gonna go through the accounts. So the first one, I really like how you well thought out, just put all the people related on the first column, nicely well thought. As long as you keep it consistent throughout the feed, that's good. I have one suggestion, is that if you're taking flower shots, have more focus on one of the flower, so the cropping might help. So you can crop out anything that is white in the back, kind of distracted my eyes, so you can just crop it like this, so there's more concentrated on the flower. Other than that, just make sure that you keep consistent with the feed, just like what you did right now. Consistent, put the portrait on the left and then all the landscape on the right. So keep it up. Next one, I like the bokeh in this one, and then the reflection of the trees like this. Nice. And I have an opinion on the consistency of the black and white and color interchange. So really nice tone, really nice portrait right there. I will post one black and white and then one color and then another black and white, instead of these two second and third slot black and white together. So you should space it out. Next, Really like the sunlight in the back, as it's my face. Is always like I like the sunlight in the back. I'm not so sure about the branch in front of the portrait, kind of distracting my eyes a little bit. I really like the background of the yellow contrast with the leaves right there, but crossing the face kind of like distracting my eyes. It doesn't have a sense of strong focus on the eyes. Maybe you can adjust the portrait, make sure that there's nothing across the face. So that's just my opinion on that one. Next one. Nice silhouette style, and I also have the same suggestions. Is that if you have two portrait and then you have landscape, just make sure that post a portrait and then landscape and then portrait instead of two portraits next to each other, just like what you did in this row right there. You have a portrait, you have a landscape, and then you have a portrait. Make sure that the head part is not against any of the strong lined like this steel glass area, because it kind of crop the head. And make sure that the edges are clean enough without all those white lines on the edge. So that's my opinion on the cropping and the position of the portrait. Yeah, and the landscape are nice color also, so good job. Next, really like the tone in this one. Very well kept the tone. This one, from the far away from the portrait, it seems like the tree tilted to the right. You should tilt it back to the left so that it's more vertical to the ground. So, and there's a little bit of shadow kind of distracted my eyes in the side. I will just crop out those two trees in the side so that it's more concentrated on the portrait, because this white light and the shadow kind of distracting my eyes to the right. So I will just crop it like this closer, so it's more concentrated on the portrait. So other than that, really nice tone. Keep it up. I like how you frame this portrait, really nice, and then with the color of the wood on the t-shirt also, so nicely matched, and nice natural light from the side also. And this one, I don't like the lines. I like the rainbow effect, the prism. The lines kind of like tilted to the left a lot. Probably what you need to do is ask the model turn around, or just avoid these black lines completely. Kind of like distracted the orientation a little bit for me. That's just my opinion on the rotation of the portrait. So other than that, keep up the portrait. I like the framing in this one. So stay inspired. Good job. So I like the brick wall in this one, black and white, and nice retro car in the back also. But just make sure that so this one is in the bright sunlight, and this background is very overpower the portrait. So when I first look at the image, my eyes will look at this part. Just make sure that when you're shooting in the strong sunlight, like daylight, like noontime, make sure that the portrait is the main character instead of so the lighting will cause what you look at it first. Maybe if in this case, if it's too strong in this one, you can ask her to just completely use the back instead, so that it won't have any side bright light in it. So that's my principle of the shooting daylight noontime portraits. Next one. So nice sunlight in this one. Maybe tilt it to the right, or it might be have a distortion right there, but the sunlight is good. Make sure that, so these are nice like simple vision, very simple, very nice. just make sure that there's a transition between too dark and then too bright. So what I will say is I will post this dark one and then post a golden hour one, kind of like semi-dark, and then not semi-dark, semi-bright, between dark and bright, golden, and then I will post this blue one. So that create a transition instead of bright and then suddenly very dark and then suddenly very bright. So that's just my take on how to arrange the feet in terms of the color and the brightness. Next one. So I like that you keep a consistent cold tone in it. From the feet consistency standpoint, when you look at the first 3 rows, the first picture, the edges kind of that little shadow on the top right there, it kind of created a crop on the top. It's not as clean, so I will just crop that out. Just make sure that there's no edges right there. Also this one, this pole right here kind of like distracted my eyes, so I will just crop out the pole like that. Instead of the whole full length, you can just crop it out like that. So that's my take on the cropping. Okay, so this is the last one. I like the tone in this one, so nice tone consistently throughout. So, and you're doing the 3 in a row series. Good job. So keep it up. And the only thing I can see is that, so for the second picture, you can see a little bit of the edge from this handle right there, kind of like distracted the pattern between the transition of this picture to this picture. So what I mean is that you can just crop closer, like to create a strong focus on her eyes, because when you're looking this far away picture, my eye is not first landed on the model's eyes. So the principle is to first land the eyes like that. If you crop this close, and your eyes will first land it without searching around, because if it's this far away, there's some water distraction, and then there's some handle distraction. This white area on the concrete is kind of distracted a little bit. So but when you crop this close, you will see that, okay, there's nothing else. I just look at the center of the eyes, and then it's like attracting my attention to it. So that's my take on that. But good job on stating consistent tone. So that's it for today's 23rd video of the critique and the editing tutorial. So thank you so much for all the likes and comments. And if you want to join the list, you can just comment on my latest post of the Instagram in my Instagram. So I only collect names from the Instagram. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.